Hello everyone and welcome to the module number 2 TON interface, which we're going to focus specifically on TON interface in singbox. In singbox proxy overview we already talked about TON and TON2 socks. This module specifically we talk about split tunnel, full tunnel, pros and cons, and probably pitfalls with TON interface and its architecture and in-depth analysis of the TON interface. So for the test and purpose of demoing this, I have a proxy here, a proxox proxy here, and I'm going to run this. And as you can see, it's really simple, and by now you should know what these are going to do, this object I have added for the configuration. So a sandbox proxy server is going to be run. And then this side from my client machine, I'm root first. So ID is root, I'm root. And then first file is ton interface direct, which means the output that I have is direct. There's no socks, so there's no output in this configuration. Is simple ton with the interface ton 0 and the address, and there's no auto route, which means we do not modify the route on this machine, and the input for the mix in, which means the HTTP or the socks. And the second one is a socks proxy, which means the output is this socks proxy here, the bottom one. So let's first run the first one. Also, we are going to use sandbox. We said 1.12.8, which is the latest version released 2 weeks ago. So run c ton direct, and ton direct means everything, every request that we have to this IP or to this mix in or to the ton, it going to be resolved or forwarded to our own machine. It doesn't go out because the outbound is direct. So if I crawl IP.me, it has no effect because we are not using or we are not adding a full tunnel or enabling auto route or strict route. And if we curl over 28, it shows our own IP address, which is the same as this one. And also we said in sandbox proxy overview that this ton interface and this IPs should start with 1 because it becomes the sandbox itself IP, and other side of the tunnel that we have here is going to receive the other host part of this network or subnet. So if I crawl HTTP to this one, this is the sandbox itself. It does nothing. But if I request to 2, which is the other side of the tunnel, other side of the network, according to the sandbox implementation, it tries to connect to 127, which is the local host, and port 8000. The reason it gives error and doesn't come here is simple, because the outbound that we have is direct and it comes back to our own machines. And it has a pitfall here. I mean, there's a problem with this workflow or with this behavior, because if there is something on this, for example, interface on this the inbound that listens on 8000, it becomes a loop, a kind of non-stop loop, infinite loop, and finally we have to stop the application. We will see it in a few minutes or probably in upcoming videos. But let's test the socks one, which means we have a tunnel to this, and let's test this one. So we request to IP number 2 or host number 2 on this interface. You can see the request comes to this machine. It tries to direct out dialing the 127 and 8000, which means already we talked about we can have a web server here and the request can reach the web server here. Let's test that. We already tested in the previous videos, previous scores, that we can have SSH, and we test SSH as well here. So if I go to the server 101, the port is 7000. I changed the port, so 101 cd opt app sandbox proxy advanced, and going to web and run the Python that we have on this interface, on this IP and 8000. And if we request this, we can see hello sandbox, which is the index HTML here, hello sandbox. So we can see that we can request over the tunnel. This is a kind of split tunnel. The IP number 1 is the on our host. And number 2 is the other side of the tunnel. And if we request that, as I said, we can have the same behavior like requesting to this. We can go to, for example, SSHP 7000, the IP that I have here, because the other side of the tunnel is going to listen on 7000, which is the SSH daemon that I have here. It will go to the server. Let me close this, get out, and then port an SSH to this machine. It's root 1, and the IP is the other side of the tunnel. So the first one is myself here that I'm running sandbox, and this is the second one, and I came from 127.0.0.1, which is this session I can get out. So these are split tunnel, and it doesn't matter. For example, I can change the 23, 24, the 30 that we have two hosts, 24, we will have more hosts. I can run this again. I can go to 2, it's going to be forward to the tunnel. I can go to 3, which is the same thing, and sandbox assumes that anything other than 1 should be part of the other side of the tunnel. So 3 goes to the tunnel, 4 goes to the tunnel, I don't know, 2050, it goes to, as long as it's part of that interface, it goes to that tunnel. So this is a kind of a split tunnel that we can have with sandbox. So let's go to the next session and talk about a full tunnel in sandbox.